Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to the Madden NFL 26 Indianapolis Colts. You can call it a rebuild, it might as well be a rebuild, but franchise. We're here with episode 4 today, where in this episode we're going to play against both the Raiders and the Arizona Cardinals, which will be our second matchup against an NFC opponent. The last episode, it definitely was not a fun one for our Indianapolis Colts, because we got destroyed in both matchups where we allowed 41 points from both the Tennessee Titans and the LA Rams, in which we got destroyed by Cam Ward, including throwing 3 interceptions in that very game, and letting Tony Pollard run all over us, having over 150 yards on the ground. And as for the Rams, and the box score is glitched, so don't worry about that. He went 38 of 41 during the football. It makes matters worse, Devontae Adams had over 100 yards, and we just had no answer against the pass game against either teams. In this episode, we are going to have a slight focus on the scouting and some of the prospects around the league. We are going to talk about this more when we get deeper into the season, of course, because we'll have more info on these guys, and we'll have a better understanding of where we stand as a team around the league. We're going to start talking about the quarterback situation on our team. As Scotty said before, that quarterback is not a number one priority for us, so there's no guarantee that we're going to go really in the high rounds for quarterback, especially with this being a weak quarterback class. I said that we are going to change the class every year to make it interesting and kind of balance it out. And the first guy is Elton Cunningham. He does kind of have a power of an arm. We have 10% scout on him. We are projected currently to get the number 4 pick, although the Steelers right now are number 1 and the Browns are number 2. I think that's kind of interchangeable. So 9 out of 10, we probably won't get him at all. I see the Steelers doing it if Aaron Rodgers does retire. Another player is Juwan Stewart. Like I said, we don't have a lot of info on these guys, so not really too much to talk about for a lot of these draft picks, but he is more of a scrambler type of quarterback. I don't see us going for him at all, considering we have Anthony Richardson, who is one of the fastest quarterbacks in the entire game. I think that just kind of goes, even if we don't have him be our starter long term, I think we can still use him for movement. The other guy is Devin Swain, who is more of a third to fourth, second day kind of player, someone we could potentially steal. But I don't see us going with quarterback because of the fact that we have Riley Leonard as our rookie quarterback, who's going to be on the team for 4 years. Look at the top 5 draft picks, and Jordan Acosta, left tackle, is one of them. Now, I think our offensive line overall is pretty decently good, but Jordan Acosta is on my list because for a pass protector, he does have some pretty good run blocking stats. A on run blocking, not something you see really often on a lot of players. Another top 5 player is Nick Guerrero in the same position. He's kind of similar. He is more of a run blocking left tackle, so more or less for teams that do. I mean, he's not better than Acosta, but if you're a run-centric team like us, then maybe you go for someone like him. Another guy is Joey Diaz. He comes on the right side of the field. He is also a pass protector. And we also get Benjamin Hargrove, who does remain in the first round. Obviously not as good as the other guys that we've seen, but obviously a steal for a lot of other players. There are only 2 defensive players in the top 5, currently projected to go top 5. One of them is a left edge rusher in Tony Pearman. Now, I've said before, I like the front 4 of this team, but I think right now with how weak really the ability for us to get pressure is, maybe we try to find something different at that position, especially with the trade deadline coming and us trying to make some big moves. Devin Agnew is the only other defensive player in the top 5, and if we keep playing like we are, then we're projected to at least get a top 5 pick. So we are projected to get one of the top 5 players, and I realistically see us going in the defensive side of things more so than the offensive line, because like I said, their offensive line is pretty solid where it is, but it could use some improvements. Blake Drew is another guy on defense. Well, Chip Blythe coming in the first round. As we go, we're going to look more at these guys, but also look at the later rounds, because I think looking in later rounds is very important, because that type of stuff does matter. We also have linebacker, because I think our linebacker core is very hit or miss. Zaire Franklin, I think, is really good. Chad Muma is showing some promise, but we're far from complete. And so are a lot of teams in the NFL, and Manuel Trejo is one guy I'm looking at. I was looking at Christopher Weathers at the Sam position, aka I believe that's middle linebacker. Don't quote me on that because I'm pretty sure I'm wrong in that regard. But as far as where I want to go in the draft, I think defense right now is my number one priority because it just sounds like the best way to go. A potential undrafted player in Sean Pierce, who is a pass coverage player. We need pass coverage on this team. This defense against the pass and in general really has been terrible these last few games, especially the last two games against both the Rams and the Titans. I realistically think that the pass coverage is where we're weakest at. We're not getting a lot of pressure on our side of the ball, but I think pass coverage needs the big improvement. Last episode, we did see that we had a potential upgrade, and it's for Tyler Warren. Whenever we talked to him during the preseason about him being the starter, he hasn't started at tight end yet. He's been mostly our go-to fullback, and it's gotten his fair share of snaps. So I think he's played really well at the fullback position, but Molly Cox has done his fair share at the tight end position. Tyler Warren will, however, still see an upgrade. But we are going to gear up to play against the Raiders. If we can't talk about the Raiders, I'll talk about Max Crosby, the best player on that team by far. I know the game is glitched, showing the player and whatnot, but that's what happens when you play Madden. He's already got 7 sacks on the year. He had 7 all of last season. I don't remember for sure if he was injured. Don't quote me. Last week he had 10 total tackles in the win over the Bears and 2.5 sacks, which he kind of did similar in week 2. And he's going to be on this team for long term. They also updated the game to where they actually show his tattoos, which I guess that was probably an issue for a lot of people. There's also Brock Bowers, who was the offensive rookie of the year last year. 114 receptions for the guy. He's got X factors. So this Raiders team, while not the best team, far from being the best team, is pretty dangerous, especially with, like I keep saying, Chiefs being pretty poor. We're also going to get a good look at the running back Ashton Genty. He'll be pretty fun to play against. He's only got 2 touchdowns through 3 games. He actually did not play in week 1. He was injured, and he absolutely torched the Bears with 2 touchdowns and over 100 yards on the ground. And being as how he struggled against when it comes to defending against the run, that doesn't sound really that much good. Jacoby Myers is a player that I think tends to go under the radar. I think he's a pretty damn good receiver. I think on most teams he's a pretty good receiver too. And I think with a really good quarterback that kind of eyes him more often, I think Jacoby Myers could be a really good player, and he showcased that last season with the Raiders. And I think he can do the same thing this year. And speaking of quarterbacks, Geno Smith is the guy, or the captain of the team, I should say. He's got 5 touchdowns already, but no interceptions yet. And we're a team that can barely buy interceptions, but he's playing pretty good. This team is 2-2, looking to try and make some noise in the AFC West. Like I said, the Chiefs have been struggling this year. They're winless up to this point, which is kind of a surprise, but I think given the changes to the playbook could actually take a huge effect on the Chiefs of all teams, or the Chiefs are just that bad. I don't know. As for us, we're trying to get our 2nd win of the season and try to turn these last few games around. The Raiders looking for win number 3 as we go underway for week number 5 of the Colts franchise. And I promise I'll try to get content out more often. I keep saying it, I know. It's basically an empty promise. This kickoff's going to get returned to about the 20-yard line. It's 3rd and 8 now for Geno Smith up the middle. Finds his target for a 1st down. And that is Johnson. Oh, that's Johnson who will manage to get the 1st down. The Raiders will move the chain. This defense has been a struggle fest to say the least. It's a nice screen play back to Deontay Johnson, but the defense is there to make a play. It's essentially for no gain. 2nd and 10. Genty will bounce it outside. Shakes off a defender. He'll get the 1st down. Ashton Genty, he's got speed. He was a top 5 pick for a reason, as Geno Smith gets laid out by Latu. A loss of 6. And it will now be a 3rd and 16. Sorry, 2nd and 16. I can't see. Forgive me. The Smith will just toss it underneath. He's got nothing but running room. He gets shot. He is a yard short of the 1st down marker. And you know the Colts, they can't stop on third down. And that's the case. Nice spin move to make Zaire Franklin miss. And that will result in another Raiders first down as they march their way down the field. 3rd and 4 for Smith and the Raiders. Pressure comes up to him, but it doesn't matter. Makes the throw. He turns the corner and gets the first down and a lot more. As Kenny Moore favoring his right arm, he's shaken up. He hasn't been the greatest this year. He's definitely struggled a lot, especially in one-on-one coverage. Hand off to Genty. He makes his way into the end zone untouched. And the Raiders on their first drive will put up 6. They looked basically mostly unstoppable. Aside from the sack from Latu, the defense did pretty much next to nothing. And they basically resumed what they did in the last 2 games. And just nothing ball defense. Throw by Richardson, caught at the middle for a first down. I'll hand off to Taylor. He gets a first down, shakes off a defender. He'll make it to the 45-yard line. The Colts try to look to respond with 7 of their own, or at least 6, whatever you want to say. This time he'll bounce it out to Taylor, outruns the defense, and gets pretty much exactly the 10 yards that he needs for the first. Following play, flash and fake by Richardson. He'll kick it out to Warren, loses the football, but is scooped up by the defense out of bounds. The Colts catch a break. That would have been the second fumble of the season for the Colts, and turnovers have not been something that they've been very proud of. Roberts makes the big play on Taylor. It's now 3rd and 14. There was a penalty which dropped us back as that pass is incomplete. Roberts there again to make a play, so we'll have to kick the punt, which is not ideal as the Raiders get the ball back close to midfield. That's a throw underneath. He's got room and blockers in front of him. That's Genty who will get the first down close to Colts territory. This Colts defense already looking pretty inconsistent. That pass is intercepted. Chad Muma picks the ball off. He's down at midfield. He tracked it all the way. Now, as a player, I don't really like to influence plays like that. I try to make it more based off of ratings itself, which obviously you could say that then just don't play the game. But I mean, why wouldn't I? That's actually that's his second interception of the year and Smith's first interception that he's thrown through 4 games, now 5. But now the Colts get the ball back. He'll kick it to Mo Ali Cox. He'll get the first down. It's now dark all of a sudden, though. We're in the second quarter. Indianapolis trying to put some points on the board. Up the middle, caught in the end zone. Josh Downs makes his way into the blue. Weird. But he's in the end zone. Colts put up some points, looking to tie this ball game up. The offense has been pretty damn good this year. The defense has been the biggest issue for the Colts all year. And one thing I praise with this offense is the receiving core, how much I like it a lot. Now the Raiders get the ball back. Nice toss play to Genty. He's going to outrun most of the defense. He's taken down at the 47. Great play by Ashton Genty. Smith with the ball. He misses his target. And now it results in a 3rd and 9 for the Raiders. Can the Colts get the stop? Deep throw to the right side. It's incomplete. It almost landed in his hands. The Colts will catch a bit of a break on that one because it almost was a score. And a kick at 4th and 9, and I didn't mean to catch it. He actually ran on his own. And it's now set at the 1. We kind of get out of that jam. We're at the 9-yard line now. Throws to the left side. It's bobbled and picked off by the Raiders. And those are the type of interceptions I don't get it. The former Panther, Jeremy Chin, picks the ball off. And I can't blame that one on Richardson, and I'm certainly not taking the blame for that. It's just a bang-bang play. Jeremy Chin bats it away. It bounces off his back, and he's able to pick the ball off, and that's kind of just been the season we've had. Then Geno Smith takes the ball himself into the end zone, and the Raiders score on the next play. Now the Colts get the ball back, tosses it to Jonathan Taylor, spin move. He's got room to go into the end zone. He's tackled at the 10. Nice little fake pitch play. You don't see these plays happen a lot in the NFL, but a big one for the Colts, trying to ignore that interception that Richardson threw earlier. He's closing in on, unfortunately, 10, and we were only just in week 5 of the season. It is now 1st and 10 at the 10. It's not 1st and goal. It might as well not be. But Richardson to throw. Checks it down to Molly Cox, and he makes his way back into the end zone. And that's another Colts touchdown, another Molly Cox touchdown. I don't know for sure how many he has. I'm pretty sure it's 3. But don't go on that because I don't pay attention to stats all the time. But the Colts managed to tie the game up. Thanks to the play by Jonathan Taylor. The Raiders will get the ball back because Genty will go outside again. This time he loses 2. The defense was ready for him, and quite frankly, that play took a bit of a long time. Nice throw up the middle to Brock Bowers, who moved the chains and taken down at the 46-yard line. We can't cover in the middle to save our lives. I don't understand why. But now another outside handoff to Genty. He's got room to go. Green ahead of him. He's taken down at the 36 in Raiders territory. Go later in the game, the Raiders are now at the 13. Nice job by the defense to get to Genty, who's been basically torching us so far all day. But it's 3rd and 9. Genty in motion. Time for Smith. He'll check it down. And the defense is there to get the stop. It's 4th and inches. The Raiders don't go for it. They'll just kick the punt. It's now 17-14. Nice throw deep downfield by Richardson to Downs, who has his 4th catch of the day. I feel like Madden, it's a lot better to make those kind of passes in Madden. And Matt Crosby gets right to Downs on the very next play, loss of 4. Haven't called his name too much in this game, but makes a big one as Richardson will throw a deep downfield back to Downs. It's incomplete. Probably could have been picked off. It's now 4th and 12 at the 36. The Colts will make the field goal. It's about a 50-yarder. The Raiders got a little over 30 seconds left in the game. This deep downfield, he's got a step on Kenny Moore, and Trey Tucker makes his way into the end zone. And if you thought this was going to end it having a tie, it certainly wasn't. Kenny Moore gets beat by Trey Tucker. And Trey Tucker marches his way into the end zone for 7, and that will do it for the first half of the game. And the Raiders, with that late game touchdown, take the 7-point lead. We're going to head into halftime, see what's going on around the league. And first up, we get to see the Rams, who completely killed us last week, take on the 49ers in a divisional matchup. A nice throw from Brock Purdy as he marches his way into the end zone. That's against Juwan Jennings. And the 49ers win 28-25. I'm going to get names wrong. Forgetting that's Eric Pasco. Listen, don't ask you to figure these things out. But in the London game, I think it was London or Dublin, one or the other, Vikings take on the Browns. A lot of broken tackles. The Browns can't wrap them up. At the end of the day, he gets shot in the end zone, but the Vikings win 14-7. The Browns still find ourselves winless through 5 games now. It's just getting worse and worse there down in Cleveland. Joe Flacco maybe shouldn't be starting anymore. Just saying. But the Ravens now take on the Texans in a bit of rain as Lamar Jackson takes off from deep inside the 30, makes a man miss, and he makes his way all the way into the end zone. And this game is tied 20 apiece. What a run by Lamar Jackson, looking around the rest of the league. Not too many surprises other than Dallas and New York being a 6-3 ball game. But this game so far has been all the offense. Colts defense not holding out, and the Raiders defense has done a pretty good job in my opinion. I think without the interception, I think we're still tied, or at the very least we might have a lead on them. But intercepting defense makes the difference when it comes to these games, as we're still trying to figure ourselves out. We need a second one in the season. Both Richardson and Geno Smith are playing pretty good all together. And both Genty and Richardson, like I said, both offenses playing really well. As we reach 2nd and 7, pass up the middle is incomplete. We do nothing on our first drive of the second half, and Smith hit as he throws, and Kenny Moore takes a terrible angle. And that's a way better throw, or way better gain, I should say, than what it should have been. And it's one-on-one covers. Moore gets beat on the curl route, and instead of going for the receiver, he goes outside, probably trying to make a play on the ball. And it results in a first down. Nice throw up the middle by Geno Smith, as he's going to move the chains. That's Jacoby Myers. 2nd and 7 at the 5-yard line. Smith is going to take it himself. This time he won't go much of anywhere. He's taken down for a loss of 3, about 3 or 4. Nice play by Kwity Paye. And if you thought the Colts were going to get the stop, you must be drinking, because the Raiders managed to get the first down. 1st and goal, handoff to Genty. He makes it into the end zone. No one was there. And now the Raiders are going to build on this lead and turn it from 7 into potentially 14. And the Colts picking up exactly where they left off. Richardson will take the ball himself. He'll march his way downfield for the 49 using his legs. He's got to make some type of big plays. He's been doing that pretty well so far. Throw downfield, that's caught for a first down. That time is Alec Pierce. Haven't called his name a lot in his last few games, despite how he kind of started this year. Richardson trying to buy time, finds Jonathan Taylor. Nice block up ahead by Tyler Warren. And now it's a 2nd and goal. Fake handoff to Taylor, and Richardson doing his best Geno Smith impersonation. He'll score his 2nd rushing touchdown of the season. And the Colts tried to put a dent into this deficit, but the defense needs to start making some big plays. Flash and fake by Smith, and he's sacked the 2nd time today. Loss of 11. It's Samson Ebukam. Is a backup edge rusher for us, and we want to play him a lot more too. And Smith never really had time to really make a play and get rid of the football. The Raiders managed to gain 5 yards. It's 3rd and 16. The Colts would have to get the stop here, right? Smith with a lot of time, deep downfield, passes incomplete. Took it out of the hands of Jacoby Myers, so the Raiders will catch a break. We did nothing on our next drive, and then a nice sack again on Smith. We're in the 4th quarter now, by the way. We didn't do anything. It's Samson Ebukam again, his 2nd sack of the day. That's crazy. 3rd and 12. Smith with a lot of time in the pocket. He's going to go deep. That pass is caught this time. First down, Raiders inside the 20. And if you could, and can you guess who was there? Kenny Moore. And then the Raiders will score again. It's to Brock Bowers. And if you thought we were going to win this game, well, we could still. But if you thought we were going to get closer, it certainly isn't going to happen now. Kenny Moore doing Kenny Moore things this year. We're now down by 14. To make matters worse, we're sacked. Loss of 8, 2nd and 18 now. Richardson just held on to the ball for a little bit too long, trying to make a play happen. Richardson, play action fake again, trying to buy some time. Pressure was there. That's a nice throw to Downs again. Close to midfield. Not in Raiders territory. Josh Downs has made some pretty damn good plays so far in this game alone. And that's a really good throw by Anthony Richardson. Gotta give him credit. 1st and 10. Play action fake again. Up the middle, caught by Pierce, rounds the corner, tackle out of bounds at the 4. Telling you about this offense, then outside handoff to Taylor, and he'll find his way, scoring 6. Sorry, and the Colts will try to get into this deficit yet again. They're down by 7 again. Toss play for Genty. He's going to make a nice spin move on Zaire Franklin. He'll gain 4. We'll see if this Colts defense can hold out. Well, the answer is no. 4th and 2. They do convert. That's another first down with the Raiders, and time is ticking. 4 minutes to go. Smith to throw. Left side. He beats Franklin. It's Brock Bowers all the way to the 2. Third and goal, 2:40 left. Hand off to Genty. He's pushed into the end zone. That's not Genty, sorry. That is, I'm sorry, Raheem Mostert. Probably haven't heard that name in a while. As now the Raiders put up 45. And this game might be out of reach for the Colts, and that is just to show how bad it has been for the Colts this year. Only 1 yard for Jonathan Taylor. It's now 4th and 2. Gonna try to throw the football at the middle. That is incomplete. Pittman dropped it. And the game is over. For the third straight time, the Colts will allow 40 or more points in a game as they lose 45-31, and they're now 1-4 on the year. And another terrible performance by this defense. He only had the few sacks and the 1 interception, but as far as altogether, this defense has been very disappointing. Smith basically torched us. He only had 2 touchdowns, but it didn't really feel like it because he threw the ball 85 or over 85 on completion percentage. Andy Richardson didn't do that bad. The interception surely wasn't on him, and he played pretty well overall. Taylor and Genty had a nice little one-on-one battle. He allowed 4 touchdowns on the ground, so he allowed 6 touchdowns in total. We did have the 1 fumble from Warren, I think another from Jonathan Taylor, which didn't count. As far as the receiving game, we struggled to defend really anyone. Jacoby Myers played well, Deontay Johnson, Brock Bowers, Josh Downs was the only one on our side that really played really well at all, and Mo Cox. Michael Pittman had a few drops in this game, so he was basically non-existent, which is not common for Michael Pittman, who currently is our #1 receiver. As far as defense, the only few bright spots comes from the interception from Muma, and then the sacks from both Latu and Ibuka, who had 2. But other than that, it didn't play that well defensively. Max Crosby only had the tackle for loss. He wasn't really much of a factor, but he didn't need to be. As you look around the league, of course, we have our game, which I kind of wish they'd show a different game than the one we played, considering we already kind of know what happens in our game, whether it be win or loss. But we did get blown out 45-31. The game was a lot more one-sided than the score really suggests, if you ask me. And we're now 1-4. The Raiders are now 3-2. We're gonna head to LA to see the Chargers take on the Commanders. It's a pretty fun matchup between Jaden Daniels and Justin Herbert. It's a handoff up the middle. He's putting the whole team on skates. And I know it's not Brian Robertson, I got that wrong. But the Commanders will win 32-29. Commanders now 4-1 on the year. And the Chargers lose a big one. Then we'll see the Bengals and the Detroit Lions, a Super Bowl matchup. One for the ages. Jared Goff all the way at the 10-yard line. He'll throw it up the middle, deep downfield, shakes off a tackle, jukes a defender, and the Lions win 38-34. I feel like we've seen this play in Madden before, which I haven't commented too much about the other highlights for other games, but those are kind of crazy. They're pretty ridiculous. Because how they happen. Next up, we gear up to play against the Arizona Cardinals and Kyler Murray. Of course, we get to see what happened around the league last week. Saw Denver lose to Philly. They made it a pretty close and fun one. The Panthers do get the best of the Dolphins. Tennessee was blown out by Arizona 42-21. They scored the same amount. Tennessee scored the same amount that they lost by. Kyler Murray with quite the performance, 312 yards, 2 touchdowns. Cam Moore didn't look all that bad, but didn't look amazing. Tony Pollard didn't perform that well against him either, which I wish that was the case for us. Although Tyler Lockett and Marvin Harrison had quite the battle. Marvin Harrison, if you've been watching the NFL, he hasn't gotten a lot of targets, and obviously that's been the bulk of the conversation with the Arizona team. But he got 12 receptions in the win over the Tennessee Titans. So hey, also Calais Campbell, I haven't heard that in a while. He did have a sack in this game, only 1 interception. It came from Mac Wilson Sr. He comes again trying to turn around this quote-unquote dire season that we've had. The Cardinals are 3-2 coming into this one. And meanwhile, we are 1-4. Our defense is still struggling. We're taking on one of the better offenses in the league. But we also do have a look at the mock draft, our first look at the mock draft all year. And right now we're projected to pick number 4 in Tony Pearman, which ideally is where I want to go in the NFL draft. It's more so defense than offense, but if I was to pick an offensive lineman, then Jordan Acosta would be number 1. He is projected to go number 1 by the Steelers. The projection also has the Chiefs picking 3rd, who, like I said, are winless. Devin Agnew and the Broncos being the one to pick Elton Cunningham, which is very interesting because they do have quite the quarterback controversy right now. And they also have him picking Jawan Stewart at pick number 11, which is kind of insane considering they have an interesting group of quarterbacks on the team. I don't know why Joe Flacco is the go-to guy. I just don't think that really makes sense for the Browns. Start off with a vet, that's fine, but at this point in the season, you're already losing a lot of games. You might as well give your young players a chance. But I do like the pick of Tony Pearman being our go-to guy. I know we have some solid edge rushers in Kwity Paye, Ibukum, and Latu, but a nice change of pace could be needed. We are going to make a change in the depth chart, which Kenny Moore's been playing absolutely awful in one-on-one coverage against some of the best receivers. So Travarius Ward will be our new number 1. Kenny Moore is going to play more of the slot, just because it's been a struggle for Kenny Moore all year. I don't know why. Kyler Murray is the number 2 quarterback in terms of yardage. He's only behind Joe Burrow so far this year. Looking at the touchdown numbers, I'm surprised CJ Stroud is one of those players that's so low. I'm surprised the Texans in Madden and even in real life are playing as bad as they are. Kyler Murray is also ranked number 5, technically tied for 3rd in touchdown numbers. He does have double digits. Not every quarterback is at that point. And I keep seeing Andre Iosivas pretty high on the list. I don't know what the Bengals are doing, but he's outplaying even Jamar Chase in terms of receiving numbers. Our leading receiver currently is Alec Pierce. I know he didn't really have much of a factor in the game against the Raiders, but still interesting to see. But Iosivas, I've talked about him. He has normal development. He torched us in the game we played the Bengals in the preseason, and he's number 2 in the receiving category, only trailing Puka Nacua, which is kind of a surprise. In terms of running back numbers, Jonathan Taylor is number 1 currently on the list of running backs, which I think is great. He has kind of been teetering up and down because he's had some good games like the one he's had a few weeks ago, and he's had some bad games. James Conner, nice to see him healthy because in real life he is not. That is the case. He is injured. Not the greatest, but not the worst. Zaire Franklin currently leads the league in tackles for loss with 13, which is kind of surprising. He has been quite a factor for us on the defensive side. There's few bright spots. I was looking at trade possibilities. Kwity Paye, because we are reaching the trade deadline, and Kwity Paye right now is kind of one of my top trade targets. He does have star development, but he does have an expiring contract this year, and with us not playing well, I don't really see it being really likely for us to keep him, but trade talks will be more of a staple for next episode and then the trade deadline. We're also going to make another change to the depth chart before we start this game, and Tyler Warren will make his first start at tight end in week 6. He's been asking for it. We're going to give him the opportunity that he wants. It's not that Molly Cox has played bad. It's that we want to give our guy Tyler Warren, our rookie, a chance to actually shine in the position that he's asking to play in. And hopefully this can be a nice change and get us a win on the board. We're going to take on the Arizona Cardinals, wearing their rivals jerseys. I didn't do it with the Dolphins because I forgot about them. But head-to-head against Arizona, still at home. We've had a lot of home games. It's our 4th home game of the season already, which is kind of crazy. And Richardson marches his way downfield. First play is a play-action fake, and it's right to Tyler Warren underneath. And he finds the running room, good blocking up ahead. And for his first play at tight end, he's got a 20-plus yard gain. There's no guarantee that he will be the starter at tight end moving forward, but I like to give him more opportunities. I guess with us losing a lot of games, we're going to give a lot of our younger guys, the guys that aren't really getting a lot of playing time, we're going to give them more chances to play more often. Because, I mean, when you're losing, you're not really playing for much. The first and 10 and about midfield, handoff on the outside to Taylor. He shakes off a defender. Can't shake the second one, but it's past Cardinals territory, or past midfield to Cardinals territory. 3rd and 6, we check it down to Taylor. He gets cracked for a no gain. And that Ty Warren play was really the only good play we had in this drive. Tried to check it down, have Taylor make a play, and he just couldn't. He couldn't get past the first guy even. So I had to punt this ball away. It's 4th and 6 at the 44. It's a decent punt that ends up in the end zone. And Cardinals are set at the 20. We'll see Kyler Murray. As I mentioned, he's ranked number 2 in yardage at the quarterback position, which is not great for us considering we already struggled defending against the pass. But 3rd and 6, Kyler Murray tries to use his legs to go upfield, and it's Zaire Franklin who makes the tackle. We already know Zaire Franklin leads the league in tackles for loss. It's a 3 and out for the Cardinals, as it's Anthony Gould who will return this to the 40. And look at the rushing yard numbers now. Jonathan Taylor, as we mentioned a little bit earlier, is ranked number 1. He's had a shaky year so far, but it definitely hasn't been terrible. It's Richardson, flash and fake. He'll use his own legs. He'll get 9 yards, a little short of the first down marker. Cardinals showing a bit of pressure. At the 49, handoff to Taylor. He finds the blocking, finds the hole, gets the first down. The Colts move the chain. Next play, a toss play now for Taylor. And once again, can't beat the first guy, but gets 2nd and 1, gets another 9-yard gain. There's an injury on the play, and it's to Quentin Nelson. Not ideal because he's the bulk of our protection. Hopefully he's fine. It's 1st and 10. We do manage to get the first down. Nice throw to left side, incomplete. And that tackle is broken. 3rd and 16 after a few penalties, and Richardson can't get rid of it. He's sacked by Zaven Collins. It's a loss of 11. The Colts are outside field goal range, so no field goal for them. And then on the next play on the defensive side, it's a sack for the Colts. Loss of 9. It's Kyler Murray. He's going to round the pocket. 3rd and 15. I don't know what he was doing there, but tried to make something happen. It couldn't. And it's another punt. 4th of the day. Richardson downfield, that is intercepted by the Cardinals. This ball will be returned to the 27-yard line. It's the rookie Keaton Crawford. That's not a terrible throw by Richardson. I think the only issue is that, 1, he overthrew the football just a slight margin. And 2, Pierce didn't really put in enough effort to go for it, and already we have another turnover. I believe that now hits 10 for Anthony Richardson. I wish I checked, but I didn't. And the Cardinals will get the first down, not play their first, I think, of the game. Next play is a nice little wide receiver screen play for a gain of 8. Then a handoff to James Conner as he makes his way to the 43 for a first down. DeForest Buckner was there. Haven't called his name too much this year, looking hopefully that should change. Now outside for James Conner. He's got great blocking. Nice spin move for another first down as we end the first quarter, and this time we're scoreless, which has not happened that much for us this season. Usually we're trailing. Probably one of the better plays. Nice spin move on Cameron Bynum. I'd probably keep calling him Andrew. It's not Andrew, it's Cameron. As the Cardinals look to put their first set of points on the board, it's 3rd and 7. Kyler Murray will try to throw, runs out the pocket. He's got greenery ahead of him. He gets the first short of the end zone, down at the 1. He can't leave the middle of the field wide open with a man like him. A nice stop by the Colts defense. Went for a fullback dive. He got stuffed. Another run play. Loses the football and is picked up by the Colts, but he was down on that play, so this will get overturned. But it's 3rd and goal, a little bit farther away. Murray runs out the pocket. He is taken down the 4. He can reach the end zone. Nice play by Franklin. And the Cardinals say, forget it, we're going to go for it. We have to get 7, and they won't get it. taken down at the 4. Cameron Bynum on James Conner. And one of the few times this season the Colts defense holds up and the Cardinals are left with nothing. As the Colts offense back on the field, hand off to Taylor. He will get the first down. Next play, Taylor again. A little bit of misdirection, but doesn't matter. He won't really get much. Second 8, Richardson the throw. Upfield, finds Pittman up the middle. He got the first down. A lot of running room down at the 39. He was a non-factor last week against the Raiders. So first catch since week 4. And now a little bit of a fake by Richardson. Thankfully, he didn't lose the football. If you know Madden, you know Madden. 3rd and 2, handoff to Taylor, and he's stuffed at the line of scrimmage. We're still scoreless, closing in at the end of the first half. Murray bounces outside. He'll step out of bounds against the first. There are 4 minutes left in the first half. Murray, nice throw on the run up the middle. Caught for a first down at the 40. Murray hasn't done too much with his arm so far, and that's been pretty good for us. Nice check down play to Trey McBride. No, I don't think that's Trey McBride, but I don't know for sure because guess what? I suck with names and numbers. But the Cardinals are making their way downfield. Now it's a handoff to Connor on the outside. He's got a lot of running room. We're expecting that. And it's now at the 22. Cardinals with the same play opposite field, makes a move. Great blocking by McBride. That's McBride. And the Cardinals will score the first points of the game late into the second quarter. And that was just great, really great play calling by the Cardinals. Saw that the Colts weren't defending the outside, and they did just that, went outside. 3rd and 11 now for Richardson, goes downfield, and they're basically double coverage. The pass is incomplete. Cardinals left with a little over a minute left. Try to see if they can put some more points on the board. Murray to run. He'll run out the pocket. He'll get the first. Down at midfield. 50 seconds to go. Murray to throw. Up the middle. Trey McBride has room. That's another first down for the Cardinals. Time running out. Murray up the right side is intercepted by Charvarius Ward. His first pick as an Indianapolis Colt. The game didn't show a replay, but we'll look at the play again. And that's just kind of an awkward throw by Murray. It's not a terrible throw. It's an awkward throw. Not really sure who his target initially was. I think it was him. I don't know who it is by heart. Sorry, I can't see. I'm blind. But he overthrows it completely. Or it could have been him. I'm pretty sure it was one of those two because they were both open. Charvarius Ward picks it off, and at the end of the day, at the end of the half, it's a 7-0 ball game. Probably as defensive of a game as you'll see in the first half. Let's now look at the halftime report again. Around the league, the Jets and the Broncos. The Broncos looking to keep their winning season alive. That's a nice play to the right side. Good check down. And as apparently the big highlight, as the Jets get blown away 42-10. And the Broncos sit now at 4-2. Now an NFC least matchup between the Eagles and the Giants. Coming to week 6 in real life at this recorded, the Eagles did lose to the Giants. Saquon Barkley with a nice run all the way down into the end zone, and the Jalen Hurts train, or Eagles hype train, continues as Jalen Hurts bests Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson was not playing in real life in this game. He got booed out on the sideline. And then the Saints and the Patriots go head to head. Two pretty mad teams in the NFL, if you ask me. I think if you ask a lot of people, I think they'd say that. But that's a big play by Spencer Rattler. That's not Spencer Rattler, stupid. Drake May into the end zone. That's the only touchdown, I believe. As the Patriots are up 7-6. I thought it was a Saint. I'm sorry. Forgive me. I told you I can't see. We see Jacksonville's getting blown out by Seattle at to reach halftime. And I believe that was Cleveland. I'm pretty sure I'm wrong. Tampa Bay is blowing somebody out, but I can't see. Like I said, I'm blind. But like I said, an all defensive game in the first half. Someone's got to break free. Murray with the ball tries to run away. That pass is broken up on first down. 3rd and 9 now up the middle. Somehow he breaks free. and turns a potential 4th down into a first all the way to the 42. If you wonder who that is Zay Jones. Then the following play, nice play action fake. Try an RPO fake as well. And it's back to Zay Jones for a first down inside the 20-yard line. So the Cardinals look to make their way into the end zone. 2nd and 8, wide open, and that's incomplete. I don't know why you're celebrating, buddy, because you almost let them score 6. Murray will try to mount the pocket again, and Franklin is there yet again. I think that's the 3rd time he's made a play on Kyler Murray all day today. He's essentially been the spy and has had his number. He's ready for if he needs to run it. And this time the Cardinals will just opt to take their 3. And that won't matter because there's a roughing the kicker penalty on the play. Can't do that in this league. In this game is Cameron Bynum. So now the Cardinals get another chance to put 6 on the board. Play action fake and Murray is sacked. Never saw Latu coming. That is a huge loss. Now they're set at the 14-yard line. They're going to opt to hand it off to Connor. And he'll get 4. It's now 3rd and goal. Kyler Murray to throw. He's going to just check it down to Trey McBride. And once again, the defense holds up in the red zone. Not something I thought we'd say, especially after our terrible performance. Almost another penalty. I thought they were going to be able to go for 3 more downs again. But instead, the Cardinals just take their 3. Colts still trying to get on the board, and that is picked off. The pass meant for Warren. It's a pick 6. And now the Cardinals are up 16 to nothing. It's a pick 6 by Max Melton. They get their 6 anyways, and that's more or less a bad pass by me. I pressed the wrong button. I pressed X thinking that it was the curl route up the middle, but it actually was triangle. So that is more on me. And that I know for sure is his 10th interception. But either way, we're down 17 to nothing now. Managed to get the first down. We're trying to play a bit of hurry up to kind of take some of the pressure off of us. That's an incomplete pass. Calais Campbell right in front of Richardson. Go with a screenplay. And it's a nice route ran by Jonathan Taylor. We're short a few inches. And then a handoff to Giddens, and he'll lose a lot of yardage. And that's Tomlinson, Dalvin Tomlinson, the former Giant, makes a play. We're going to go for it on 4th and 4. And we managed to find Pittman up the middle for our first down. We got to take our chances. We can't punt the ball away. We've got nothing on the board. We got to give ourselves a little bit of momentum. Richardson, the hold on to the football, 2nd and 7. He lost the football. 2nd fumble of the episode. But luckily, it does go out of bounds. RPO play for Pittman. Gets the first down again. Down to 34. Colts need to get into the end zone to shake this game. Nice throw up the middle to Warren. Runs out of bounds. We're at the 20. Hand off to Giddens. Tried to bounce it outside. He's got nowhere to go. Loss of 1. It's like the decision to put Giddens in the game so far has been a bad one. 3rd and 4. Play action fake to the right side. That's incomplete. And that right there is a touchdown for Pittman. Wide open. Not a terrible throw. And Pittman just didn't have the hands. At the very least, that's a first down. And I think 9 out of 10, that's a touchdown. And Pittman just couldn't secure the football. One of the biggest blunders we made this season. We had to kick a field goal. It's going to get even worse as the receivers left wide open. Already Cardinals in Colts territory. Handoff to Connor. Great blocking. Finds the hole. First down. And if we make that pass in the end zone for Pittman, that's a huge game changer. Cameron Bynum shaking up on the play. We close out the 3rd quarter. It's 17-3. We have yet to be in the end zone at all today. That pick 6 probably really changed the course of this game for sure. Like I said, that touchdown would have put us back in place. But now, not only do we find ourselves down 7-3, but 17-3, but now the Cardinals are in position to score again. Overthrows the receiver. Incomplete. I believe that's Marvin Harris. I don't know what number he wears. But Kyler Murray will run out the pocket on 3rd and 7. And this time the Colts left too much space up the middle. Kind of hard to defend mobile quarterbacks sometimes. As Murray is sad loss of 5. And it's DeForest Buckner who makes a big play. Can the Colts get the stop? 3rd and 15. Murray finds his man up the middle. That is caught. That's Marvin Harrison. He wears number 18. Zaire Franklin there. Colts will kick a field goal. It's 20-3. 3-possession game. Try to check it down to Giddens, who gets cracked. Loss of 5. Colts aren't getting much. 3rd and 6. They gotta make something happen. Nice throw up the middle. Wide open to Tyler Warren. Cardinals playing a bit too underneath. The Colts have to hurry up now. They only have a little under 9 minutes left, and they're down 3 possessions. They gotta make some stuff happen. Murchison trying to buy some time. He'll run out the pocket, gets the first, makes his way out of bounds at the 25-yard line. 8-14 handoff to Giddens, wide open up the middle. He's untouched. A 25-yard touchdown for the rookie. If I'm not mistaken, that's his first NFL career touchdown in the regular season, because he had one in the preseason. NFL regular season touchdown. And now it's a 10-point deficit for the Colts. 3rd and 3, and Kyler Murray's going to do what he does best, run out the pocket again. He makes it all the way to the same spot Richardson did on the last drive, to the 25. On 3rd down, he just runs it out of bounds. He just runs with it. I mean, that's smart. Nice block up ahead. It's a push block, as Connor will make his way to the 10-yard line. Connor's doing a good job wasting clock. There's 4 minutes left. It just tosses it underneath, but nowhere for him to go. He's caught by Franklin, who's made a lot of pretty damn good plays. He's leading the league in tackles for loss for a reason. Colts are just going to use the timeout, try to save some of his clock. Luckily, that was not a kick. Oh, sorry. I forget what the play called. Roughing the kicker flag on the Colts. It's 23-10. We still have a 2-possession deficit. Rich trying to buy some time, runs out of the pocket, and finds Molly Cox just standing there. I don't know what the defender was doing, but he just left him with room. Makes the catch on the 1st down. Checks it down to Jonathan Taylor. He's going to be pushed out of bounds. It's now 3rd and 1. We do convert the 1st. We've got to make our way into the end zone fast. Richardson to buy some time. Runs away from the pocket again. Finds Pittman up the middle for a 1st down. Play action fake now. Left side. Finds Pierce on the left side for another 1st down. Colts have to hurry up. They have a little over 2 minutes left to go. 1st and goal at the 5-yard line. Richardson, halfback screen. Great blocking. And Jonathan Taylor is in the end zone. And it's now a 1-possession game in favor of the Cardinals. 2 minutes to go. 2nd and inches. And they're going to choose to throw it. And that might have been the smart decision. It's 1st and goal now. One more 1st down ends this ball game. Indianapolis still has a timeout to work with, but I think the game might be out of reach already. And if it wasn't there, it is now. And the Colts will lose 23-17. The Cardinals are now 4-2 on the season. The Colts fall to 1-5, dropping their 4th straight game of the season. They haven't won since week 2 against the Broncos. This time around, the defense actually played a lot better. I mean, we had big plays in the red zone, 2 pretty key red zone stops, and an interception from Javarius Ward. I think that pick 6 changes the narrative of the game. At that point, we were down only 10-0, and then it was 17-0, and the game was basically out of reach. We made some pretty big plays offensively in the second half. The second half a lot better than the first half offensively. Another 2 interceptions by Anthony Richardson. I blame that pick 6 on myself. I pressed the wrong button there. But he does have 10 interceptions up to this point, which is not ideal. But then again, Richardson has always kind of been a bit of a turncoat. He's had a pretty bad interception to touchdown ratio. The completion chance for Kyler Murray was there too. James Conner ran the ball over us. We couldn't really stop Kyler Murray running out of the pocket. We tried. Jonathan Taylor didn't have a great game either. He played poorly. Like I said, Jonathan Taylor so far this season has been a mixed bag of good games and bad games. And this is one of those cases where he just played extremely poorly. As for receiving game, James Conner was pretty involved in the pass game, which you love to see from your running back. Tyler Warren, pretty good game in his first start at the tight end spot. Franklin made a lot of big plays, led the game in tackles, but unfortunately it was not enough. He made some pretty good plays on Tyler Warren. I keep messing up names. Kyler Murray, Latu with 2 sacks in the game. He's building up his numbers. And Javarius Ward with his first pick of the season. And Keyshawn Crawford, his first pick of his career, I would think. I don't know for sure. And now I have the weekly recap. Again, I think this should show a different game than the one we had because we just saw it in full action. But Richardson holding on to the ball for a little bit too long. He's sacked. And a close game as the Cardinals win 23-17. We did outscore them 17-16 in the second half, but does that really matter? I don't think so. The Seahawks and the Jaguars, I always thought that this was a pretty interesting matchup on paper. It's Sam Darnold versus Trevor Lawrence. Sam Darnold's going to run out the pocket, but he's actually going to run into the end zone himself, and the Jaguars lose 24-10. Which, as someone who plays in the AFC South, we will have to see it. But if we're not winning games, does that really matter? And finally, Mercedes-Benz Stadium, the Atlanta Falcons will host the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills are still undefeated. There's a nice pass on the right side, shakes off a defender, and the Bills will barely win 28-27. And for the moment, they stay undefeated. They're still the only undefeated team in the NFL. And I mean, it's the Buffalo Bills. They're going to do just that. Around the league for week number 6, you saw that the Ravens would lose to the Rams. 2 undefeated teams, or winless teams, sorry. The Steelers actually get by the Browns. We got to play the LA Chargers next week. That will be in the next episode. Justin Herbert had 4 touchdowns on the Dolphins, who are playing pretty disappointing, but I mean, I think that's what you can expect out of the Dolphins. Dolphins just kind of aren't that good of a team anyways. We got to play against the Chargers, who I think have a really good roster. And with the Chiefs playing pretty poorly, it opens up the door for the AFC West. Teams like them and the Broncos and even the Raiders, who we did lose to earlier in the episode. I also didn't know that the Chargers had Khalil Mack. But if you look at the records, as I mentioned, the Bills are the only undefeated team in the league. 49ers, Eagles, and Lions are teams with only 1 loss. The Broncos, speaking of the AFC South or AFC West, the Broncos and the Chargers are fighting for pretty much territory in that division. The Cowboys are doing meh, just to name some teams. The Dolphins are playing poorly. I know they're only 2-4, but that's pretty disappointing for a team like Dolphins. Sorry. The Saints are currently 2-4, a team that they probably look to be the worst team in the NFL. They're not doing that bad. The Texans are 1-4 on the year so far. We're 1-5. The Browns did lose to the Steelers, so they are one of the only 2 winless teams. Steelers are now have a victory. They're still the worst scoring team. They had 30 points against the Browns, which is the most they scored all this year. And the Chiefs are the only other winless team, which is kind of a shock, like I keep saying, because they're the Chiefs. But that'll do it for episode number 4 of the Colts franchise. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Like and subscribe for more. I'll see you guys next time. Next episode will only be the Chargers game. But peace out.